everybody. This is Marcel Patricio, Sports Inquirer, and welcome to another edition of the original Free Kick. This edition will feature Atlanta United manager Gonzalo Pineda. And before we get started on that, as always, to follow everything that we do, head to the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. We've done a little bit of a redesign, really happy with it. So go ahead and check that out. We also are available on our social media platforms on I always forget them. The on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go to the Sports Inquirer or Sports Inquirer, either one. Just look us up, and you'll be able to see everything we have going on there. And finally, to be able to actually see or listen to our content, you can head to the platforms on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, much more. And just search for us under Sports Inquirer or my name, Marcel Pertut, and you'll be able to track everything that we have going on. Thank you for joining us. And as I mentioned, we were able to attend the presser of Atlanta United manager Gonzalo Pineda, and he delves into many different topics, including the announcement of the expansion of the practice facility, previewing tomorrow's contest, but we're recording this on April 13th, and the Atlanta United host Philadelphia on tomorrow, April 14th. So we discussed that. And in relation to that contest, he begins his presser by discussing the health status of his entire roster, including an update on striker Giorgos Giakoumakis. Enjoy.
To do individual workouts? Is he available for selection for Sunday, or is he out?
No, we don't know yet. We're going to do one more test tomorrow. We'll see. After that.
And is that also true of Sunday and Super Steve? Is that also true of Sunday?
No, the rest are out.
Okay. Well, how's Rios looked then this week?
Good, very good. Just a little bit of that as supposed to. He's really good. He's a guy that takes the line very well.
I know that you appreciate the depth of the team and like the depth of the team, but is it slightly frustrating that the injuries are starting to pile up again, similar to 2 years ago?
At any moment, injuries, especially when they are significant injuries, I think it's disappointing and frustrating, but honestly, I think that it's also a good opportunity for some other guys to come here and show in a home match that they want to compete. So, yeah, it's part of football, and we need to adapt and move on.
You've talked about the leadership group this season a few times. How important are they in moments like this where you do have the injuries?
Yeah, it's very important. I think. I mean, we're okay. It's not like I want to sound pessimist or something. We're okay. We're in a good moment. The players are doing very good in training sessions. They're doing everything they can. They're understanding the tactics. They're training hard. So we're good. Of course, the injuries, are part of this, but the leadership group is doing a very good job. I think they are keeping not just the motivation and the fun and this, because that's easy to do. Is the commitment. It's not even the motivation, because commitment is bigger than motivation. Motivation is for amateurs, professionals. They have commitment. Even when they're not motivated, they have to do their jobs. So keeping that mentality in the locker room is very important, and I think that the leadership group is doing a very good job.
Talk about Philadelphia. I think a lot of times we focus on their press, but how do they test you? How do they test your defensive side?
It can be a test for sure. If we allow them to test us, right? If we allow them to control the type of game we're playing, I think they can hurt us for sure. So for me, it is very important that we control the type of game we want to play against them. If we do that, I think we're going to be in a good spot. With that saying, Philadelphia has shown, especially this year, that they don't need a lot of possession, they don't need a lot of chances at any moment, a long ball, a second ball, that they can put the ball in the back of the net, a set piece, they can score goals, so it's difficult. So it's one of those games that we need to be really, really good on the ball, managing very, very good side to side, through the middle, through the flanks, and move the ball fast so they cannot catch the ball for long periods of time, and we can be more either in our final third and in theirs. So I think we need to control that. If we do that, I think we're going to be okay.
You talk about the team being in a good place, but when you get to come back home and play in front of the home crowd, especially after a weekend on the road, does it give them that extra, boost, or for lack of a better word, once the game actually kicks off and you're in front of a familiar crowd?
Yes, I think that's our home advantage. That I think, in my opinion, is one of the biggest in the league because of the stadium, the atmosphere, the fans, the 17s are very loud, and opponents feel it too. So it's, of course, I feel like our players are very, they play with a little bit more confidence at home. That's true. But at the same time, I think the impact on the opponents is also good. So yeah, we're aware of that.
There are announcements, I think, this week about the expansion of this facility. How does that impact you with the main roster, and what does that show about the growth of this team to have the expansion of the practice facility and everything here?
Well, yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, when you have an owner, Arthur Blank, that is willing to do this type of investments, $23 million to expand to a total $80-something million for this facility. I mean, it's amazing. We are already in a good position with our training facility. We feel like we have a lot of good things here, and now we want to do an expansion. It's amazing. We're going to have a couple more areas for the players to press them, to have more recovery, for having better spaces for them to get along as well, more recreative spaces and more areas where they can be better individually and collectively. So it's going to be massively important. Also, the academies, I think they're going to have also a very good space because our academies are in a very good place as well, I think. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very good thing once we get it.
And how important is that just for the overall morale of the team, but also recruitment and retention of the roster? How important is this part of it to just the overall atmosphere for a player?
Yes, I think it is already there. I think players know that this training facility is already good. So I think for that it's already a positive when you are talking about recruiting and scouting, and that when we show the players where they're going to be every day, where they're going to have breakfast, where they're going to have lunch, where they're going to do the gym, where they're going to train, their locker rooms, everything. I think that's very important as well. But one thing that I want to add to that is that, of course, it's massively important, the investment, the $80-something million in here, but the people is also very important. The people that work here, the staff members here that make our lives every day super, super great. The people that clean here, the security guys that come here with good morning, always with a warm welcome. The staff that works super hard there, the physios, everyone. That is the real plus that we get here, and that's the thing that when the player comes to this environment, they love about this. The staff is great here as well.
You've added a lot of mix from the twos coming into this first team. Just how has that been, adding them in and seeing the chemistry and training with everyone else?
Well, I think it's going in the right direction. Of course, it takes time to yell out at times. So we'll see. We have a few new partnerships, maybe, Bartek, Tristan, so we'll see. At times it can be a Gianni, it can be Dax. I think Dax is also a new player for us that of course, he brings different things. Now the center back with Derek, who's around, he knew what is Tian. So a couple of new partnerships, especially in that part of the field. The front we stay pretty similar. But in that part of the field, center back, center mids, we have a couple of additions that I think they're doing a good job. But I know that still they have a couple of things to do better in terms of the coordination and understanding each other better. That will come with time.
How important was it Tuesday to get kind of a simulation of gameplay, especially for guys like Luis and who haven't played a lot lately?
Yes, a couple of things. Number one is the rhythm of playing 60 minutes. It was a really good game. It was really, really intense. The numbers were over the roof. The players applied a very, very high intensity game. But also the football ideas, because at times you can just make some runs, strides on the side, and they get the same amount of HID, VHID. That was the main objective. But soccer-wise, it was really good. I felt that the ideas of the team were there. We were building very good, on balancing their midfield very well. The final third was lacking a little bit of creation in there, but even with that, we created a few good chances. So it was really positive. The outcome of the match was really good, and we are really pleased with that group. That is going to be very important. And you see it, whether it's injuries or rotations or Open Cup or Leagues Cup, we're going to have multiple games this year. We're going to need everyone. And already there are 2 goalkeepers and 2 field players that haven't played. Only 4 out of the whole roster. The rest at least have a couple minutes in the season. So they've been already important. They've been really impactful. So 30 minutes in the second half, 20 minutes in the second half, we make changes, and the guys coming from the continue with that. Whoever is putting the best direction.
Is there any part of the expanded training facility that you're most excited about?
Probably, I want to see that, especially that new area for players. Hang out, to be there, the ball recovery room. They're they're going to have some science.
The high altitude room and
Yeah.
the cognitive room?
Yeah, so I think when you're looking at the evolution of MLS and playing multiple games in different environments and traveling at times being an issue, I think the more we can invest in recovering of the players, especially we have a lot of internationals coming back from international and having that amount of recovery tools is great. So I think that part is going to be amazing.
do you have an opinion on the in-season rules changes that might be happening in Major League Soccer?
All right, we're back. My mic was muted there. Okay, we are back. Yeah, the last comment so that Gonzalo Pineda was making was about the in-season rule changes potentially in MLS. His comments were that he was not too aware of it. It's just focused on the next game or match at hand. And yes, the wind was that bad. It was brutal out there. It was actually sunny and it wasn't. It was a little chilly, but the wind was just really bad. So the audio, I know, wasn't the best, but you got what you needed from that, I hope. But I mean, touching on several things from what Gonzalo said. First, the match tomorrow against Philadelphia, the Union, which takes place on April 14th. We just got this message about the availability report from Atlanta United directly while we're recording this show. And it looks like Giorgos Giakoumakis, Gigi, Stian Gregerson, Zande Silva, Jamal Tiare, and Derek Williams are all out for the contest. So it looks like you have your striker, some midfielders, and defenders not available for the contest. So that is going to be a major challenge for Atlanta, who come into the contest and get my statistics here for you. As I said, going into this contest against Philadelphia, Atlanta is actually let's see. So Atlanta has where did my points go? Yeah, so Philadelphia, I was going to say, is the lone undefeated team left in Major League Soccer so far this year. The first meeting between the two teams this season, Atlanta will go to Philadelphia on September 28th. And Atlanta is undefeated at home this year. Not only undefeated, but they have not dropped any points. They're 3-0 at home so far in 2024 and outscored opponents 9-1. And with the win this upcoming Sunday, it'll be the first time that Atlanta has won its first 4 home matches in a season. So that is what Atlanta is looking to do. But all those players being out will be a major issue. They do have Saba and Brooks Lennon, who have been very productive from the right side of Atlanta. And the two lead the team with 3 assists each and a total of 7 goal contributions. And it's really a contrast in styles. Well, not necessarily contrast. Philadelphia is known for a very aggressive press, very active in winning the ball back, winning duels. Atlanta is the most accurate crossing team in Major League Soccer. So if Atlanta is able to get past the press and get crosses to the middle, or to the various points in the box, they are very successful with that, with actually percentage of 49.4%. So a very interesting contest coming up between the two teams. We will be there and have full content from the match. So thank you for joining. Oh, one more thing about Manager Pineda's comments about the expansion of the practice facilities. Very big for Atlanta. They already have one premier facilities in Major League Soccer, but with the expansion focuses on several things. Looks like it's going to be on player rehabilitation, rehab, potential for some indoor activities, as well as far as a facility to practice, but also room for the academy. And it's very interesting because I was talking with one of the representatives from Atlanta United Communications, and we go to practice once or twice a week, and we see the senior team, of course, and we do sometimes have interaction with Atlanta United too. But when we're not at the practice facility during the those set allotted times, apparently that facility is very active with all the youth teams, pretty much ages 18 and under, teenagers on down, and even as young as 7, 8 years old. So that's a big part of not only building the pipeline for future Atlanta United players, but also for contributions to the general soccer football community in Metro Atlanta and beyond. So with the facilities, there's going to be expansion of fields and locker rooms and other items for the Atlanta United Academy players. So that plan. Hopefully, we didn't get an estimate of when it will be done, but I'm pretty sure it'll be done in the near future. And it does also help with the retention and recruitment of players. If you've seen in college athletics, it's become an arms race. Whatever sport you're talking about, from football to basketball, the Olympic sports, and everything in between, whether it's the stadium, the locker rooms, the practice facilities, dorm rooms, the health and rehab facilities. It has become very competitive, and it's in all professional sports now as well. So when you do have a player interested in Atlanta or bringing them into town, this is the what they can show will present a good opportunity for not only signing a player but retention as well. So very interested to see what happens there. All right, thanks for listening and watching this latest edition of the original Free Kick. As always, head to the sportsinquirer.net for premier news and notes in the world of sports. You can also head to our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And finally, you can also go to our platforms on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and much more. Until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.